right, we're going to go ahead and gavel in. Looks like we've got a quorum. Sorry, we're just a little late this morning, but we're going to go ahead and gavel in. Good morning, and it is a pleasure to call to order this special call meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen for the City of Natchez. Good to see everyone here. If you would, please stand with me and let us join together in a word of prayer to be followed by our pledge. And I would like to say the prayer this morning. Let us bow our heads. Father, we thank you for another day. We thank you for each and every day, for truly your mercies are new each and every day, and every day is such a gift. Thank you also, Lord, for the gift that we have to be here as servants to the people, to deliberate upon things that are important to our city, and in so doing, to look to you for guidance in making the best decisions we can make. We pray for all in our city, and Lord, we also pray for those in need of extra prayer this morning. They are known to you, and we lift them up to you. We just give you thanks for our beautiful city and asking your favor to continue upon us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let us now repeat together our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. We'll ask the clerk to administer the roll call.
Okay. Alderwoman Hall. Here. Alderman Frazier.
Here.
Alderwoman Smith. Here. Alderwoman Irving.
Here.
Alderman Davis.
Here.
Alderman Murray.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, all are present and accounted for.
Thank you so much. I want to remind everyone this is a special call meeting taking place of our regular meeting, which should have been held last Tuesday, but had to be delayed due to the election. Being that this is a special call meeting, we can only discuss items and entertain motions for those topics that are on the agenda. So with that in mind, we will move now to approval of minutes. Madam Clerk.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, first set of minutes would be the March 12th, 2024 regular board meeting. There were a number of grammatical and spelling corrections that were made to those minutes after they were sent to you all, and I apologize for that. So requesting approval pending the city attorney's approval.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion made by Alderman Davis and seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion? We'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Okay, next item is the regular minutes, the minutes of the regular meeting held on March 26th, 2024.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Davis, seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion? We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
The next item of business is our city business, garbage collection and disposal contract. We actually are very grateful for a process that has taken us quite a bit of time to conclude. But I believe, Madam Clerk, you have been handling a lot of the details for us. I'd like to go back to you, introduce you to help guide us in the discussion of what we're to do and consider today.
Okay. So I'm bringing my final staff recommendation before the board today. And the recommendation would be to continue with twice a week garbage collection, once a week recycle collection, but to also add the twice per month curbside collection of white goods and bulk material. And of course, the disposal portion of this as an all-in-one contract with Aero Disposal. It would be an $8.27 per unit per month increase, but adding a great and very valuable service of the curbside white good and bulk I think we are going to greatly cut back on illegal dump sites, endless calls to Public Works and them trying to work with their schedule to go and pick up these items that are illegally being left on the roadside.
So I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir. Alderman Frazier.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the garbage collection disposal contract for Arrow disposal.
Second.
Thank you. Alderman Frazier has made the motion, and the second has been Alderwoman Irving. We'll have discussion on the motion.
Yes.
Yes, sir, Alderman Frazier.
I would just like to simply say that it took us a while to get to this contract. It was done fairly, and when we looked into it, we had, I think, 4 other bids, but what we did, we looked at them real carefully, and after viewing them, we accepted Arrow disposal because of what we are getting. What we're getting now is we're picking up white goods, which consists of, whereas about the resident now, you don't have to just throw your refrigerator, stove, or your limbs on the just on the street and just leave them. Now as a city, we are picking up those items, and this also, as the city clerk said, that it is cutting down on a lot of illegal dump. So we had to, in order to do this, we had to get the city a small increase. And after discussion with the mayor and the clerk, myself, I was saying that, well, there's going to be a small increase, but some of the citizens may not be able to afford it. But here's the thing of it is, we had to do what was best for the city and spending the city money. So that is why we went on and get this contract. And I'm not saying that the other contract wasn't that good, but when we looked at it, there was the one that was best for us. And then, like I said, I want to thank the city clerk and the mayor. Like I say, we worked hard to get this contract, and it's for the best interest of the city of Natchez.
Thank you, Alderman Frazier, and thank you for your leadership and all of your work on this. I think you summed it up
Mr. Mayor.
quite well. Alderwoman Irving.
Thank you. He did an excellent job. But I just wanted to ask, the $8.27 increase, is that once a month or is it $8? Because last time we had an increase and we said it was $2, but in all actuality, it was $4. So I kept getting the calls, and when I called over to Natchez Water Works to get the clarity on it, it ended up being a total of $4. So it's just $8.27.
That's correct. It would be
Okay.
$8.27 per month
Okay.
per household
Okay.
increase.
Just wanted to be sure.
So I would be bringing a resolution before the board at a later date, once the contract is final.
Right.
And we are looking at the monthly charge on the water bill for each household being $30.44 per month.
Okay.
So I think in the past that got confused with, I know that there was an increase to the garbage, but we also have the mosquito control, which is $1 per month that's added into that. So thinking it's going to be $2 or $3 and it ends up being $4. But that will come before the board in a resolution later. And actually the motion that I was hoping for today would be to start drafting that contract
Right.
with Arrow Disposal. And of course, once the city attorney sees it and we work with Arrow and have that closer, ready to finalize, that will be brought back before the board.
So
Mr.
actually, you
Mayor.
just wanted the motion to draft.
Yeah. Alderman,
Well, I'd like to make the motion
Alderman
that
Frazier, yes,
we
sir.
go ahead on and draft the contract
okay.
for Arrow
Why don't we
disposal.
add,
Yeah,
could we just add that to the motion you've already made?
yes.
Alderwoman Irving, are you
Yes.
fine? You seconded it? Okay. All right. Alderman Maroney.
Have we gotten details on the methods, how they're going to be picking up the white goods and the bulk?
They will be using a knuckle boom truck and they will be picking up 2 times per month. So we will have to finalize a schedule for the route on how that will be picked up and where on what days and that sort of thing.
Mr. Richard, you trust you. Did I say that right?
That's fine.
I always mispronounce your last name, Richard.
No, we're gonna be happy with the decision.
Mr. Mayor, Mr.
Um,
Mayor, Mr. Mayor, we need to be in
Richard,
motion.
if you will allow us just one moment. Alderman Frazier, I'll entertain that motion from you.
Yes, I would like to make a motion that Mr. Richards come before the board and explain
Okay,
how this company, the way it's operating.
a second, seconded by Alderwoman Hall. Discussion, we'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Richard, you're, yes, yes, sir. If you would come to the podium, you are now invited to speak to the board. Because I know this is a completely new service and it would be good to hear
It's
how y'all
something
are
we've done
looking at
before in various cities and counties, and we're excited because our people here, our boots on the ground are excited. So we're adding one service to what we've already been doing for the last 6 years. So we'll work close with the city to establish a schedule. We have from now till June, once we get the contract signed, to decide how we want to disseminate the information on our website, on your website, through mailers or whatever the case may be. And then once we get the schedule in place, people get used to when we'll be working with what part of the city. So you know when to put out your bulk goods or when to put out your bulk landscape and when the truck will be by, so it doesn't sit around and become unsightly.
Yes.
So, and then we're right here local. I mean, if you have a problem, there's a crisis or something, we're not that far.
All right, thank you. Any questions of Mr., just pronounce your last name, Richard.
Urudia. Richard is fine. I had trouble with it though tonight.
Any questions for Richard? Alderwoman
I just
Hall.
want to thank you all for the services you have provided, and we're looking forward to continuing working with you.
We enjoy the relationship. I mean, our people were real excited. I mean, not to just have continued employment, but continued relationship.
Thank you.
So we do, I would like to go work on a few things if I may be excused. I'm happy to answer any
course.
questions, and thank you so much for allowing us to be here again. We look forward to it, and I'll reach out to the clerk as far as sending. We can draft up the contract similar to the last one
Yeah,
for your approval.
all right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Yes,
I did also want to mention, in all of the discussions back and forth with Jimmy and not Richard, but speaking with them about sending out some mailers, just kind of current information as far as recycling and what they will accept, what would be considered contamination, and then also including just some educational material on the white good and bulk landscape. And they were more than happy to provide that information to the residents.
thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Yes,
Provided to you for approval.
Yes.
yes. Alderwoman Smith, and then I'm coming back to Alderman Frazier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to remind our citizens that we do, in the contract is our recycling services. And there is a per ton amount that we pay waste management to accept our disposal. So the more you recycle, the less goods that are going out to waste management. So that saves the taxpayers, the city money. But just don't forget to recycle. It's there. The services are there. We have it. Use it. You've got the canister. Use it. Make sure you do it cleanly. The right things in there so it doesn't contaminate the whole thing.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderwoman Smith. Alderman Frazier.
Yes, I just like to simply say, we are doing white goods, but let me say, this collection is strictly for residential area only. I don't want some of the citizens to think that we are doing this and then some contractors come put the garbage in front of somebody's house. We're not gonna do that because we don't want anybody to take advantage of the city and what we are providing. So this is strictly for residential. And I just want to simply say to the resident, don't try to abuse the system or take advantage of what we are doing. That's all he's saying.
It's a great point. Thank you. Alderman Maroney.
With this, I think this is a great deal. I think it's a great service. I'm really glad that we're doing the bulk and the white goods, but we need to make sure that gets promoted well, because there are going to be some people that see $8.27 garbage increase and they're going to throw a fit. We need to make sure that folks understand that there are tremendous added services in this new contract.
That's right.
And we've got to make sure that folks know about it and take advantage of it. And we tell them, one of the big reasons is these illegal dump sites that we've been combating that are costing us money to clean up. I mean, there's 2 of them on the agenda today that we've got to approve. I think those are in Felicia's.
They are.
And, we've got to fight those things. And this is a good way to do that. And if we provide these services, it should improve all of our neighborhoods. It should improve everyone's view on the services that we're providing and how they get rid of their stuff. I mean, there's trips to the landfill. A lot of people don't have that ability to make a trip to the landfill. They don't have the equipment to do it with. They don't have the strength wherewithal to do it. So this should help every neighborhood in the city put on a better face. So
Thank you so
we need
much.
to promote that and make sure that folks understand that, yes, we've got a garbage fee increase, but there are tremendous added benefits to it.
Thank you. Alderwoman Irving?
Yes, this is just great news, Mr. Mayor, that we're providing these services to the citizens of Natchez. But I just also want to reiterate what he just stated, and that is that we need to educate our people. We got to get the message out to them, and we got to go beyond Facebook. I would consider the mailers. Every household get a mailer indicating what's being picked up, the days that are being picked up, because the more we educate and inform our people, the better response they're going to have to bulk. That they're going to have a better response. So again, I thank you, and I think again that it's just a great service to have.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
And Alderwoman
Yes.
Smith, I just want to reiterate, if we can get the recycle, because a lot of people are interested in recycling, but they do get confused on the different kinds of plastics that cannot. So if we had more signage going along with that mailer, that would improve that as well, because I wholeheartedly believe in saving our landfills, and putting it where it needs to be, recycling, so that we can use things over and over again.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
Alderwoman Smith?
I just want to suggest with the notice, it could go in the water bill.
I think we could probably
Do
work
the
something out
bright
with
colored
Natchez.
little small things.
Yeah, I
that you
think we
see.
could probably
And
work
then-
that out.
And I'm requesting an update on what education's being done for recycling right now.
And we do need an update.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We,
Yeah,
Mr. Johnson and I were talking about that recently. We have not seen
No.
much in the way of
Absolutely.
recycling education. And recycling is so important. I've gotten into it at my house. It's a real, in fact, I find it amazing just how much we're able to put in that blue bin on Wednesdays. And I know that's saving the city, saving the environment also, but it saves our taxpayer dollars because it's less that we're having to pay at that landfill. So thank you. I think it's a great suggestion. All right, the question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you again, Richard. Thank you. Charles, thank you. And we want to thank also the other companies who did present bids. As Alderman Frazier said, we had all gave good quotes. We're also very grateful that we are going to be able to continue using the local landfill here in Adams County that is owned and operated by Waste Management. And that's a win-win, I think, for our citizens. So we'll move now to Jody Rudder, our city inspector. Mr. Rudder, you're recognized.
Morning, Mayor Board.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I put a package in your boxes about the Auburn shutter repairs.
Yes.
We received two quotes, one from Thorpe Sheet Metal for $29,400 and one for Hawkins Construction for $36,020. Bids were open March 21st at 10 o'clock. I also received a bid to remove shutters on the east and west side, label them and move them to the billiard hall for storage. This price was from the low bidder, was for $1,500. We also have the application to MDAH for this project and their letter of approval. What is your pleasure?
so moved.
Alderwoman Hall has made the motion, and Alderwoman Hall, I assume that motion is for both items.
That's
It'll
correct.
be the shutter
Yes.
replacement and the very careful shutter removal and storage.
Yes, that's what's in our,
Okay, all right. Do we have a second?
Second.
Alderman Maroney has made the second. Any discussion? Yes. Alderman Frazier.
I'd like to know exactly how much money have we spent on Auburn in repairs?
I don't
Can
have
you
a-
get that to me?
I can get it to you.
I'd like to know, because like I said, we constantly
Mr. Mayor.
spending money.
Thank you, Alderman. Thank you. Alderwoman Hall?
I think it's safe to say the majority of any restoration that's gone on there has come through community heritage preservation grants through the Mississippi Department of Workforce and History
Okay.
over numerous years.
Yeah.
We have done something. There was some repairs to the steps and whatnot, but this is a
Thank you,
safety thing. You got people, tourists that are walking up and down them, and we can't have somebody breaking a leg.
Correct, we
Talk
have
about
done some
getting
repairs, but the
cancer.
majority have come from grants.
Right.
But we also spend money
Yeah,
from
oh,
the
yeah.
city. Let's make that clear
Yes,
too.
But we own it. The city owns it. So,
Okay.
That's right.
It's another public property.
Alderwoman Smith has her hand up.
I do want to make it clear, we own it. We can't give it away. We can't sell it. We can't do
Right.
anything but take care of it, and that's our responsibility.
If we don't take care of it, it's gonna be a worse problem than it is.
I want to also, I want to say a thank you to Lane and Kevin Berry, who at no expense to the city, performed an exhaustive survey of all the shutters at Auburn. It was quite a few pages long, and it included a picture and condition report on every single window. We found out during that process that these shutters are actually original to the home, which is amazing, really, when you consider that home dates to 1818. Now, with that said, quite a number are in poor repair, and we're very grateful that the Mississippi Department of Archives and History is working with us on all of this to make sure every step is followed and that we're doing everything correctly. Also, I want to say one thing that makes these quotes higher is being that it's a landmark, Mississippi landmark, which is a wonderful thing for us because it does allow us to receive very large grants for work at Auburn. But it also, being a landmark, requires that any work be done according to historic guidelines. And we can't just repair these shutters in just any given way. The appropriate wood and appropriate craftsmanship has to be at play here. So I do believe this is a good thing, and I appreciate you, Mr. Rudder, for working on this, and Mr. Carter Burns also for his help. But I especially want to underscore again Lane and Kevin Berry, who are now restoring Hope Farm, who have the hit YouTube show Restoration Nation, actually helped us bring this about at no cost to the city, and we are very grateful.
Just
Mr.
got a
Mayor,
question.
Yes, Alderwoman Hall and then Alderwoman Irving.
I would just like to reiterate, any historic properties that are restored have to be under the Mississippi Antiquities Laws, which is in the Mississippi Code, and under the Department of the Interior standards for rehabilitation. So we're not doing something haphazard.
Right.
We're following appropriate guidelines for this historic structure, or any historic structure that is a landmark.
Thank you. Alderwoman Irving.
I was just gonna ask you, just come to mind when you said 1818, so there, and I know they have to restore them as close as possible to the same wood,
Yes.
so that's possible
Yes.
here?
Yes.
Wow,
It's amazing, really, isn't it?
okay.
All right, we'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Mr.
Thank you.
Rudder, thank you so much. Ms. Tawana Williams, Workforce Development, you are now recognized. Good morning, Ms. Williams.
Good morning, Mayor and Board of Aldermen.
Good morning.
So I did send a packet out. Did you all receive the packet, the information? Okay, very good. So hopefully I won't be before you guys really long. I tried to brief it. So first thing is the website, which I'm super excited about. It's not completed yet. We were hoping that it would be completed by now. So we do have a few kinks that needs to be worked out. And hopefully it will be completed by the end of the month. We are working with Vidal Blankenstein. She's great. This website is not only going to provide information for the employers, so potential persons who are looking for work can go and find a job, potential job candidates, but it's also going to provide workforce training resources. And so that is really huge, being that that's the main function of workforce development. Moving forward, we also have 2 job fairs coming up. We have one in May 23rd at the Natchez Convention Center. It's only going to be comprised of our local employers. local meaning the Miss Lou, Vidalia, of course, Concordia Parish, and Adams County. But we're also going to have our annual, well, it's our fourth annual, Miss Lou Job Fair in September. And it's statewide. It's the Governor's Job Fair Network. We've been partnered with them for about 40 years, and it works well. We want to sample a virtual job fair, something that we hear is really effective across the, the country. We haven't done it here in Natchez, but we're gonna try and sample that soon just to see how it works for us. We did have some experience with watching Colin do a drive-by job fair out in their parking lot during COVID, and that seemed to work okay. They did it in Jackson. It seemed like it worked well, but I think a virtual one would do well simply because, if I'm looking for a job and I don't want my employer to see me at the physical job fair, the virtual job fair, I probably should say that, but the virtual job fair will work well. So for some people, who just needs to look for another job, that will work better for them. The employer roundtable, we had one. So per the DRA grant, we said that we would conduct 4 employer job fairs. So we've conducted one. We have one more. We have one coming up in April 30th. I'm sorry, April 30th, 2024. So the first employer job fair was conducted on January the 30th. It was interesting. We only invited healthcare and advanced manufacturers, those particular employers. I wanted to share something that I think is really important that we did not anticipate. The type of feedback that we received from the survey, we were asking them about the type of workforce training that they needed for their employees. Electrical was something that we just anticipated. It only came up with 1 or 2 companies. The types of training that they actually talked the most about was like emotion intelligence, time management, critical thinking, customer service. These are all soft skills. And so we're hearing from our employers, they need technical assistance, but they certainly need soft skills training for their employees. And that's something that we're looking to provide. And so the second employer roundtable is coming up again on April 30th. And so you all have a handout as to what those topics would be, and they're different from the first employer roundtable. So we'll be talking about labor market trends, technology and innovation, diversity, equity and inclusion, and corporate responsibility. And we believe those items are really important, those topics. We had some different topics in the first one, and Chandler was very effective. I was not able to be there that day. I was actually ill. And so the mayor also helped with that. And Diane Lusher, she is our facilitator for these employer roundtable discussions. And so she will be involved in all of the discussions that we're having. And so hopefully you all will be able to attend. We are actively recruiting more advanced manufacturers from the Miss Lou this time, because we did not include them the first time. So they'll be included this time, and healthcare employers.
What?
Alderwoman Irvin?
Yes, I apologize. Were you finished?
Yes, you can.
I just had a question. What time would be the roundtable meeting?
1:30 until 3:30
And that's at the convention center?
at the convention center.
Okay. And there's
Thank
a
you.
flyer,
I
Alderwoman Irving,
saw that. I read
right there.
that, but I
Yeah.
didn't see the time.
On the other side.
Yes.
Oh.
Look on the back.
I got it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And so the other thing that I think is really important to share with the board is we are working to establish a workforce training system. So the activities that myself and our program coordinator, Lakeisha Rogers, is here with me today from Workforce Development, I think it's really important that everyone understands that we are not just conducting activities like the job fairs and working on a virtual job fair and working on a reverse career fair. Those are activities, but the outcomes that we're trying to achieve are only going to happen through establishing a workforce training system. And so being able to obtain these funds through DRA, we've been able to partner with CoLin, Accelerate Mississippi, Central Mississippi Planning and Development, and Win Job Center. We need these partners at the table to be able to create an effective workforce training system. And so in working with employers and finding out what do they actually need, we've realized that we have some employers that actually need the same thing, which will allow us to create these programs. And we may, only service 30 employees at a time per group, but at least we'll know in whole, we have 500 employees in the Miss Lou who needs the same type of training. And that's going to allow us to be able to structure those trainings and to have those dollars go a lot further. So Markel, formerly known as Bundrell, they're our pilot company. They are the first group, and they've been at the table for a while with us now. We've been talking about workforce training and what do you all need. So we've had a Zoom call, we've had a on-site visit with all of our partners. We've talked one-on-one. And so they have shared with us what their training needs are, which is electrical training and maintenance, automation and control, and they're working with Colin on that. Microsoft Office skill training, the entire Microsoft suite. They need all of that, Microsoft Office suite. What they're wanting to do is cross-train their employees, which is going to be effective long-term. They also need some leadership development. I want to say that the funding that we have, it's approximately $260,000 that can go toward training specifically, but that money won't go very far without our training partners. So we have Accelerate Mississippi at the table, our workforce training arm for the state, who can pay for training instructors and pay for a curriculum. Win Job Center, of course, can provide paid internships and on-the-job training. Colin can provide training space, and they actually create the curriculum. And Natchez Workforce Development, we can provide professional and technical training funding for the employees. I think it's just really, really important that everyone understands with this particular model, if we're able to replicate it and duplicate it throughout the Miss Lou, it's going to allow us to be able to apply for more funding and understand how that funding will be used and will be more effective long-term. Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Alderwoman Hall.
There's only one training date identified, so who determines the training dates for these companies?
So that's an anticipated training date because Colin is currently creating a curriculum.
No,
There-
I'm looking, oh, okay.
Yeah.
For Marcel.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
And so,
What about the others?
same
Colin?
thing. Yes, so same thing. So Markel was able to tell us very specifically what they need. Some of the other employers, they kind of know, not so sure. So we want to go through the same functionalities and processes that we went through Markel with, which was about 4 different points. And that led us to all of the powers that be that are in the room that are going to be able to do this. They were in one room. So before it was just me talking to the employers and that's just it. Now I have all the partners at the table that'll be able to actually allow us to make this training happen.
Yes, Alderman Maroney.
I'm in kind of a unique position in what I do for a living. I'm an IT consultant. And I do computer work for hotels, restaurants, bars, construction companies, heating and cooling companies, doctors, dentists, people in their home. I mean, you name it, I do it. Furniture stores, grocery stores. I mean, I work for everybody. And I get to know staff, and I get to know owners and managers. And I mean, I'm involved in just about every industry. And there's lots of available training out there. But I think one of the big things that's missing that maybe you guys could attack, and I'd really like to see it really attacked, because I think in most of the questionnaires that y'all do and the conversations you have with employers in the industries, they're very kind of structured things, and they're talking about technical skills, specific skills. And you mentioned early in this conversation the soft skills.
Yes.
And that, particularly with, well, I don't want to point just at the younger generation because it happens across the board. But one of the key things is that people that are looking for jobs need to learn how to work. They need to learn attitude. They need to learn how to want to work. That means you show up to work every day on time. You don't leave early. You don't ask for incessant days off. You don't call in sick just because you don't feel good, or maybe you had a little too much to drink last night, or you've got something else you want to do. You go to work every day, and it is one of the most important things in your life, your attitude. And one of the things I always tell people who are new to the workforce, who just starting a job and they want some advice, they need to learn how to use the computers better or something. I say, look, no matter what, just keep in mind to make yourself valuable
Mhm.
to your employer.
Right.
Whatever that takes, whether it's taking the trash out when that's not your job,
Right.
helping your coworker when it's not your job, staying late when somebody needs to stay late.
Right.
And these are the things, those soft skills that a lot of people who don't have jobs, that's why they don't have jobs.
Mhm.
And that's the feedback that I get
Right.
as I'm working in all these industries, is the problem employees, the people that can't hold jobs, they can't hold jobs because they don't want jobs. They don't want to work. They don't know how to work.
Right.
And those are the things, because like I said, Colin offers all this technical training.
Uh-huh.
I really want to see VOTEC get back into the high school
Yes.
level, because a lot
It's
of
there.
kids can't necessarily afford to go to Colin.
Right.
We should be teaching these skills like electrical and HVAC and whatever, hospitality at the high school level for those kids who are not destined to college or junior college.
Right.
We need to be giving these kids, and that's not our job here,
Right.
but as we work with the educational system, we've got to get people wanting to work and realizing that if they want to get anywhere in life, I mean, everybody starts at the bottom.
Yes.
But the people that move through, the people that are successful are the folks that, damn it, I am going to outwork everybody here.
That's right.
I am going to work harder than everybody else here, and I care about what I do. It's not just a check,
That's right.
That's right.
but I care. I want to do a good job.
Mhm.
And if we can instill that
Right.
in our people, whether it be young people, maybe it's somebody that's 45 years old and has just never been able to hold down a job.
Right.
And they keep saying, well, I don't have this skill, or I don't have this skill, or what. Maybe you need to just look in the mirror and say, maybe it's because you're not working hard enough.
Yeah.
Maybe you
That's
don't
right.
get along with your coworkers, whatever.
That's right.
So those soft skills, I'd
They're
really
important.
like to see a lot of this program
Okay.
driving towards encouraging folks that don't have jobs.
Mhm.
Look, a lot of it is about attitude, because I see it across the
Yes.
board
Yes.
at all income levels, at all wage levels.
Right.
I mean, there's some people out there who make $70,000 a year. People don't like working with them.
Mm.
They don't like hiring
What
them
I would-
because they're miserable to work with.
What I would like to encourage, we have quite a lengthy agenda, and we're just barely into it, and we're coming up, on the clock. I would, Ms. Williams,
Yes.
this is a great report.
Thank you.
What I would encourage is this, and we could do this
Mhm.
as a special call meeting.
Mhm.
We could have a special call meeting at any time the board would like. And I would encourage us to do this within the next month. And it could be perhaps, in the afternoon, maybe 4 o'clock.
Right.
And it would be to allow conversation on workforce development only. And those like Alderman Maroney, I can tell is passionate about this. I know I am. We could be here another hour talking about this alone and not even touch the surface.
Right.
I would like for us to consider having another special meeting.
Okay.
Alderman, Alderwoman, how do you like that idea?
I
Those who want to really
Good.
participate in this discussion
Okay.
in a more detailed fashion, I think that would be a great way for us to do it.
Okay.
Alderwoman Irving?
And also, I would like to include Mr. Chandler Russ too,
Oh,
because he
absolutely.
is
Uh-huh.
aware of a program. You said Miss Lou,
Yes.
because
Certainly.
Mayor, there is a program that Louisiana has already, and Mr. Chandler Russ has brought that to our attention. And actually, I'm
Mhm.
certified in one of those to
Mhm.
even teach
Okay.
as well, the customer service.
Right.
Okay.
So, there are programs out there that we need.
Okay.
And so that way it opens the field for other educators to come and be a part of as well, because you
Yes.
do need that environment coming in.
At this
Because they
time,
earn credits.
what I'd like to do, because we got to move on, is
Yes.
I would like, Ms. Williams, if you'll work with Mr. Burke to find a time, a
I
date
will.
within this next month.
Yes.
And let's do it about 4 o'clock. And we can even invite employers who would like to come, be a part of the discussion. This is more than just the employer roundtable. This is an opportunity for us to
Stakeholders.
organize, in an organized way, have
Mhm.
more discussion on this, and really get more into detail than we have time to right now.
Okay,
But
Okay,
great discussion.
sounds good.
really appreciate it. Thank
Great
you.
job.
More questions?
Thanks, Lord.
Thank you.
Great
It's
job.
really important. It is so
It
important
is.
because if we look around our state, the jobs are going where the ready and available workforce is.
Mhm.
If we don't have that here,
Right.
we're going to get left behind.
Mhm.
All right,
All
thank you.
Thank you.
We're building it.
Thank you so much. Mr. Burke, now we're ready for you. By the way, I always want to recognize when we have another public official present, Honorable Ricky Gray. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
to see you. Man needs no introduction. Mr. Burke,
Good morning. In your package, you'll see an agreement with Tunnel Spangler and Associates. Basically, they have given us a base scope and a supplemental scope for a downtown traffic study. I don't think it's quite time for the supplemental scope. So what I'm asking the board to do is accept a professional service agreement for the base scope, and that's going to include traffic analysis for all downtown streets and recommendations for lane reconfiguration. Also, there will be on-street and off-street parking analysis. Your page may just say on-street. I've asked that we do the full parking study as part of the base scope because that is definitely a pressing need. I don't think that's something we should put off. As a result of that, I left a second page on your desk before the meeting that updates what the cost will be for that. And that cost is $29,230. Also included is an intersection traffic control. Of course, with any contract that we go into with anyone or agreement we go through with anyone, this would be pending the review of our city attorney.
Mr. Burke, I need to make sure we clarify. The board did at a prior meeting a couple months ago, vote to go with a traffic study, downtown traffic study with Volker Engineering. As we looked into the services that were going to be provided in that contract further, we realized that there were a number of things we needed that were not being done, yet the cost was going to be so much more. So I want to make sure that what we've accomplished here is we've gotten a contract for a lower cost that actually includes all of the items we need.
That's correct, Mr. Mayor. This would be the entirety of what is considered the area that the Downtown Natchez Alliance basically is over, from Broadway up to MLK and from Orleans over to Madison.
Yes.
And it's really interesting what they're doing. This isn't just laying strips out in the street for a car to pass over. This is using real-time data. They will be able to say, okay, we're going to put a for example, a stoplight at this intersection, go two-way here, put in this type of parking, and do that in multiple scenarios across downtown and run these simulations that show give you a mean of what would happen under each scenario and come back and have multiple suggestions to give the city. So there would be multiple options for y'all to go through. That's one reason I didn't really think it was the right time to include a big engineering plan before we kind of know what those simulations tell us. And that's why I'm asking for the base scope. But
Okay, and I know
that's
we're
correct.
considering
Need a
this.
motion, Mr. Mayor?
I do need a motion. Alderwoman Hall has made the motion. Alderwoman Smith has seconded that motion. I think actually though, we're going to need, once we approve this, we're going to need another motion that will cancel our prior, or rescind the prior action of the board. But in fact,
What,
Mr. Attorney, I think for practical purposes, we really should rescind that prior contract first.
I agree.
Don't you think? Alderwoman Hall
Um,
can,
yes, sir, I'll amend the previous motion to rescind our motion, our agreement with Bogert to do our traffic study
okay.
and to approve.
We'll do this in two motions, okay? So the motion has been made by Alderwoman Hall to rescind the earlier motion.
Second.
seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion?
Yes. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Alderman Frazier.
The one we just rescinded. Encompass the downtown area. I mean, the Martin Luther King area, correct?
From what I understand, it was a portion of it, but not the entirety.
So this new one going to encompass the Highland Railroad Flats and all that area down.
Yes, yes. Anything that would be within the scope of the downtown Natchez Alliance, kind
Yes,
of
I
that
would-
area.
I was just checking out because like I said, I just simply, this also don't go include the Downtown Development Association, don't have input into the new one or what?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're seeking their advice. And
Yes.
there's actually 2 meetings that are called for within this proposal.
Mhm.
One with city officials and one with major downtown stakeholders. So it's not just DNA, it's also downtown business owners and such.
Okay.
Okay.
For clarification, Alderwoman Smith just stated, Alderwoman Hall had made a motion. Alderwoman Smith has seconded that motion. Alderwoman Hall just revised that motion. So the second actually should be Alderwoman Smith and not Alderman Maroney. I need to make sure that's clear in the record. Okay. Let's take care of this motion first. I'll call for the question.
Carl?
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. I'll now entertain a motion to enter into this contract that has been provided to us by Mr. Burke with TSW Design for the base scope of $29,230.
So moved.
Second.
Alderwoman Hall has made the motion, seconded by Alderwoman Smith. Discussion on that motion. I think we've been having that discussion. Any further discussion?
Yes, Mr.
Mayor.
Mayor.
Alderman Frazier.
I just want to, on this new one that we are putting the motion on, I just want to thank Ms. Chelsea Dora, who called me and who gave me more input on this and what was going on and what it's encompassed. So I just want to thank her for informing me.
I'm glad you mentioned Chesney Doyle. She has been of great help, as has the board at DNA, and we're really grateful. Thank you, Alderman Frazier, for mentioning that. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir. I
Yes,
just want to
Alderwoman
mention the
Earl.
date. I know previously it had a date of March 29th, but it would be approximately, 14 months from April 15, 2024 to June 14. Oh, month. I thought it was 26, but
Yes.
1 month.
It's 1 month.
Okay,
We've got to get this done quickly because we are about to reseal the streets downtown.
okay. But it
Resurface.
does encompass that.
All right. The question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Ms. Burke, thank you. I know you've really been neck deep in that one and a lot of work. Thank you. Obviously, the attorney will need to, good to see you, Ms. Charlotte, always. Jack, Mr. Jack Lazarus, you will need to make sure to go over this contract before I sign it,
Yes,
obviously, as you do on everything.
yes, we will.
Just want to make sure we get that done quickly because we got to get it in motion. Chief Arrington, you're recognized.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
So I just wanted to give y'all a kind of a quick update of what we have going on. Of course, we recently had our renovations completed. We had the mayor and Alderman Davis come through to view everything. I invite you all to come to the fire stations and check out our new living digs. Everybody's really excited about it. So we welcome y'all to come see the work that has been done. We're really proud of it. What I wanted to update you guys on today is that we right now currently have like 8 candidates. Big number that we hadn't had in a long time. So these are all newly hired, uncertified people. Currently, as of today, we got 4 of them in the academy.
Awesome.
They send grades home every week. Right now, they're doing good. I am making sure that myself and my command staff are staying on them to help keep the grades up, keep them motivated to do the things that they need to do. Their graduation is slated for May 23rd. Any of you that can attend, we welcome you to join us.
I'm sorry, when is that?
May 23rd.
May-
So Thursday it'll
At the
be
Fire
at the Fire
Academy
Academy
in Brandon?
in Pearl.
Pearl?
I don't have the exact time right now.
Okay.
It's a little far out, but I will get that time to you guys, and anyone that wants to attend is more than welcome to come in. We should hopefully be having 4 graduates that day. And right behind that, we are pushing to get our other 4 candidates into the next class, which will be in August. The next class will start in August for them. So we're trying to get those guys ready. We got some in hazmat right now. We just moving them on along. It's having 8 of them at the same time is tough, but nothing that we can't handle. Also, we have done an extensive extrication training. The last week, we did this training with the PD. We had our law enforcement officers with us as we did what we do to kind of work together, build what we need to do in these kind of situations, how we can help them, how they can help us, how we can make these extrications go smoothly. Oftentimes, we get extrications in places that, it's down a hill or down somewhere, we have struggle. We got a lot of people around trying to do things. So working with law enforcement to learn what we need to do and how they can help us, and also how we can help them help us. So we had that training over 2 days. It was on April 8th and 11th. I'm sorry I had pictures for y'all, but I didn't give them the time. But it was a really good training. It took place at our training center. We want to thank Miss Lou Body Shop and the Natchez PD for getting us some cars to cut up. We like cutting up cars. They brought us 2 vehicles to destroy. One on that Monday and another on that Thursday. So big thanks to Miss Lou Body Shop for allowing us to do that. And so grateful for the PD for coming out and training with us in the sun. And we had some fun. We had a good time.
That's a great report. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, Chief Harrington, for all that you're doing. Also, I want the aldermen to go and look at the fire departments.
Please come see.
It's amazing to see the difference at Vaughn. It's unbelievable that we were able to save that building.
Yes.
I mean, there were some who, and I was one of them wondering if we could really make that building shine, and it certainly is shining again. Now, I do want people, I want us to all understand, however, that there's a phase 2 that's got to be done. The interior at Vaughn has got to have some work. The interior at Central has got to have some work here on Main Street, because where they live, it's really important that we put some more attention to those areas. The interior at the Jake Middleton station on J.R. Junkins is really nice.
Our station 2 got interior work done because the outside wasn't bad, so we spent our money on the interior at that station. I tell you, the morale and the comments from the guys, they're really happy to have that new living space, bright, looking good. They're really excited about it.
Feels like home away from home.
Yeah.
It does. We're getting back to that. Nostalgic moment. When I came on, the fire department was just your second home. We're getting back to that. Guys are hanging out at the fire station. I went by one day last week, and it was just a bunch of them sitting around eating dinner, talking. Some of them off duty was just hanging out together. So I love it. It's great to build that camaraderie, and I always encourage my captains to sneak a little knowledge in there while y'all, having y'all dinner conversations. Sneak a little training, a little education in there, make them better firemen as they go along. So it's a good thing going on right
Wonderful. Now. Well, you're doing a great job for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I do have one small request, if it's okay with y'all. Right now, we are conducting an instructor class. I am one of the instructors, so I need to go and teach.
Okay.
So if y'all have any other questions for me, I'm here now, but otherwise, I'm gonna go try to educate some of my young ones.
All right. Chief,
Thank
thank
Good work.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you so
All right.
much. All right, a lot of good information today. Mr. Dollar, you're recognized, Public Works.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Board.
Good afternoon.
Here before you today, seeking approval after the attorney's review of an engineering contract with JK&S. This is for EWP at location 1241 Daisy Street.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
that we accept the request for Daisy Street Emergency Watershed Program.
Second.
Yes, sir. Alderman Frazier's made the motion and seconded by Alderwoman Hall. This is a great thing. I'm so glad we're able to get it done. Discussion? We'll
Call the question.
call for the question. Well, all right, we'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, I have to first say, motion carries and call the vote. Alderman Frazier, yes, sir.
if I'm not mistaken, I think this is part of the continuation of a project that Alderman Gray started, and Alderwoman Matthews. Am I correct? Is Alderman
I'm not sure.
Supervisor Gray still here?
No, he's not here. I will say,
Oh.
just to touch on that a little bit, we did have an EWP approved at this location several years ago.
Okay.
The property was under a different ownership, and we were never able to obtain signatures for easements to be able to go in and do the project. Property has since in the years been sold to a local property owner. So hopefully with that, we will have better luck at obtaining the easements needed to construct the project.
Thank you, sir.
Great. Thank you. All right, Mr. Dollar.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
we'll now move to James Johnston, Community Development. Mr. Johnston, good morning. Or good afternoon. Now, by 3 minutes, you're now recognized.
Provided a draft report to members of the board in their pocket, or I should say final report, since this is a special call, and I believe it's available on the view screen as well. First item, renovation of the Natchez Police Department 2022 capital improvement bond. At the Tuesday, March 26th meeting of the mayor and the board, staff incorrectly requested approval of change order number 1 to reduce the contract with Smith Painting for the Natchez Fire Department stations renovations by $1,670. Staff erred. This change order was meant for the renovations of the Natchez Police Department. Staff is requesting that the motion to approve change order number 1 for the Natchez Fire Department be rescinded, and is requesting a new motion to approve change order number 1 for the Natchez Police Department.
So moved.
All right. A motion to rescind that prior motion has been made by Alderman Davis, seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion. We'll call for the question.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a discussion.
Yes, sir, Alderman Frazier.
The police department. This contract is,
We're rescinding a motion right now that we made at an earlier meeting to amend the contract for the fire department. That was an error. It should have been for the police department. Smith Painting is the same contractor on both, but the change order we approved in a prior meeting for the fire department should have actually been for the police
And that was
department.
my mistake, yes.
So it's mainly just a clerical
Yes.
issue.
okay, just let me simply say, I'm gonna say this, some people ain't gonna like it, but I don't care. Spending that kind of money on a building that's obsolete, I still can't see we are spending that kind of city money on the police department. When I know from personal experience that we are just wasting city taxpayers' money on this building. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, Alderman Frazier.
Call
The
the question.
question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. There's one nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. The next motion we'll entertain is the motion to approve the change order number 1 for the Natchez Police Department. We just rescinded the one that was done in error. We now need a motion to do the correct change order.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Maroney, seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion? We'll call for the question.
Call.
All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Nay.
There's one nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next, I do have to say, we enjoyed touring the police department. Commander Hewitt, you spent a lot of time with me. Morale is up because it is so much better. And I would encourage the aldermen to go and see for yourselves just what a difference it has made. Of course, we do have a phase 2 to come with other items that are needed, but Rome wasn't built in a day.
So basically, Mr. Mayor, we've had a facelift, the painting of the lobby. I think that's what I read a while back.
Actually, a lot more than that.
Okay.
Oh, you should go see it. It's beautiful. It really is nice, the items that have been done. And we had a great tour of it a week ago Friday, and I know Commander Hewitt's smiling. He would love to give you a tour, I can tell. So we're talking new floor coverings, we're talking paint, new ceiling grids. We're also talking about the addition of more seating outside, a smoking area, so that when people are in court, they have a place where they can congregate and not just be all crowded inside.
Right, it's needed in the lobby.
Oh, my goodness. An improved bathroom for the clerk's area there at the municipal court. The bathroom is beautiful. Gone is the piece of cardboard that used to cover the window. It just
So it's
things
actually
like
a
that.
window
It
now.
really looks so much better, but there is more to come. Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry, we need to get on back to your report. Next item.
Morgantown Road Drainage and Road Reconstruction Phase 2, funding from DEQ's MCWI program and city and county ARPA monies. Staff in concert with consulting engineering firm IMS is requesting a motion to advertise this drainage improvement project, subject to the concurrence of the Adams County Board of Supervisors. Staff, along with our consulting engineers, propose to advertise on Friday, April 26th and Friday, May 3rd, and to receive on Tuesday, May 28th at 10 o'clock a.m.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman
Second.
Davis, seconded by Alderwoman Hall. Alderman Davis, I know you've been waiting a long time for
Yep.
this. We are so grateful that IMS, the county's engineer, has completed a redesign. And let's pray that this comes in on budget so that we can begin work on Morgantown Road. That will be truly an answered prayer.
Yes.
We will call for the question. Question's been called. We will proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Auburn Columns Billiard Hall and Pavilion renovation. The city's 2021 Community Heritage Preservation and Grant Program from Archives and History. Bids for the above referenced project were received in the clerk's office until 2:00 p.m. on Wednesday, April 3rd. A summary of the bids received is as follows. And you see we had 2 contractors bid the project. Staff, in concert with consulting architect Belinda Stewart Architects, is requesting a motion to accept the base bid and add alternate number 2 from Wheelmark Construction totaling $241,000, noting that MDAH has been provided the bid tab, et cetera, and has no objection to the staff's recommendation.
What is the pleasure of the board? Alderwoman Hall has made the motion. Seconded? Seconded by Alderman Maroney. We will proceed to a discussion. Any discussion? We'll now,
Call the question.
the question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Preliminary investigation feasibility report, St. Catherine Creek, Natchez, Adams County, Mississippi. In April 2022, the mayor's office requested planning assistance from the USDA's NRCS for a watershed project located in St. Catherine Creek, HUC 10, watershed in Adams County. The first course of action was the development of a preliminary investigation feasibility report to evaluate existing resources and resources of concern. The proposed project would provide stream bank stabilization, sediment reduction, flood risk reduction, and improved water quality, alleviating flooding from heavy stormwater flow events which impact the city's minority and low to moderate income residents. Area is impacted by standing water, which contributes to large mosquito, dragonfly, and fly populations, as well as mold, wood rot, and termite infestation. The preliminary investigation feasibility report has been completed by NRCS as of the end of February and can be emailed to members of the board should they want to view it, noting the size of the document. At this time, staff is requesting a motion to allow NRCS and its consulting environmental engineers to proceed to step 2, watershed plan development, and step 3, project design. Step 2 is estimated to take between 12 to 24 months to complete, and step 3 an additional 12 to 24 months. The watershed development plan will be a comprehensive plan addressing potential impacts, costs, benefits, conservation activities, etc. And the project design will include the technical engineering design and layout of the project based on the alternatives selected in the watershed plan. The cost of step 2 and 3 are fully funded by NRCS. Staff in concert with the mayor's office is requesting a motion to proceed with steps 2 and 3.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Irving, seconded by Alderman Davis. This is something we've been quietly working on, and it's actually been a process over the last 2 years. And it is something that could be a fantastic project for our area. However, it is too early to say until we really know how much it would cost and where the funds for any city matches would come from. But we don't want to say no until we are certain just what the design will be and what the cost will be. We are also looking already to other sources of funding for what eventually could be the city's match, which could be anywhere between 10 and 20%. We also are going to ask the county. This covers the portions of the watershed area for St. Catherine Creek that are in the county as well. And the cost is, there's no cost to the county for steps 2 and 3. And so, Mr. Johnson, I think you're going to present to the county soon.
It's on my list, yes, sir.
Great. And that way we can proceed. This isn't happening overnight. We've been into this. It was 2 years ago we were awarded this grant. And it may be 2 to 3 years before we really see just what can be done. But I'm grateful to say that we're on our way. Alderwoman Smith.
Where in there it talks about the streamline stabilization, what parts?
The entire, I mean, yes,
thing,
ma'am.
So like that,
It's- yeah,
Behind Woodhaven and all that.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, and they really did not narrow it down because the watershed is all encompassing. And matter of fact, it does include several tributaries and bayous all within the county. But I can provide a copy of the report. I mean, to every member of the board, email preferred because it is about a 170-page report.
Wow.
And the affected areas touch on just about every
It really
area
does.
that's on
It really
our
does.
comprehensive Natchez drainage study that we did just a year ago.
Right.
And this would be a major step forward in, as you know, there are $57 million in items on that report. If we were successful in this and then the other funds needed, we could actually have a historic impact on our community. Everything from West Deers Lane to Roselawn to
MLK.
Linwood to MLK and Concord
I mean, because all that,
and in between,
right.
because these bayous really affect all of our citizens in one way or another.
Right.
I'm excited,
I
hopeful. We'll say prayers, and the question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Please, if you would, let the Board of Supervisors know that this was approved by the city unanimously. And we hope that they will. And we're grateful, Mr. Johnson, that you are managing this on our behalf and also will be managing on the county's behalf. Next item.
Cleaning of illegal dump sites, the city's solid waste assistance grant from DEQ. Staff is requesting a motion to receive quote bids to clean 2 identified illegal dump sites, 48 Brenham Avenue and 5 Glen Lane.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made by Alderwoman Irving, seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion. We
Again,
see the,
I'm just excited, Mr. Mayor, with us having white goods picked up, that would alleviate a lot of this. So
yes.
grateful for that.
I am too, and it will make our city cleaner in the long run. We'll call for the question.
And healthier.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Concord Avenue Drainage Improvement Project, House Bill 603 during the 2022 legislative session. Bids for the above referenced drainage improvement project were received until 10 o'clock a.m. on Thursday, April 4th. A summary of the bids received is as follows. You see 2 contractors bid and you see the respective prices submitted. Staff in concert with consulting engineering firm JKS is requesting a motion to accept the low bid of Camo Construction Company totaling $378 and $10. Construction funds allocated for $446 for that project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Irving, seconded by Alderman Maroney. We will have discussion.
I'm excited. I'm just ready for it to get
We'll
started.
call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Getting work done in West Sears Lane and now Concord. This is great. This is great for our city. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Next item.
Yazoo Mississippi Valley Railroad request for proposals. Proposals to design, renovate, and lease the north end of the depot were received in the clerk's office until 1 o'clock p.m. on Thursday, April the 4th. Staff is requesting the loan proposal from New Orleans Hotel Consultants Mississippi be taken under advisement and that the appointed screening committee be given the opportunity to meet with the proposer for a Q&A session, complete the evaluation form, and to make a recommendation to the full board.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall,
Second.
seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion? We'll call for the question. Question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Request for quote bids, repair, and replacement of the cargo doors at the depot. Quote bids to repair the cargo door on the northeast side and to install a new cargo door on the northwest side of the depot were received until 10 o'clock a.m. on Friday, April 12th. A summary of the 2 quotes are listed below. Again, Wilmar and R.L. Blanton. The low bidder for this preservation project is Wilmar Construction Company. Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderwoman Smith. Discussion? We'll call for the question.
Pause.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
I would like to table the last item until we do receive written correspondence from Horn and DEQ, if that's all right with the board.
All right. We'll just hold that for the next meeting then.
Okay,
Yes, next item.
that concludes my report.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Johnston. You do so much for us. City official reports. Alderwoman Hall.
Yes, sir. Like to announce, we play ball tonight, beginning our baseball season at Duncan Park, the first 2 fields. Unfortunately, the 3rd field has had some unexpected plumbing issues, so all the ball games will be played on the first 2 fields. And they are in tip-top shape to begin our new sports season. They're excited about that. We
That's
had over
great.
300 children registered to play ball. Also, I gave a welcome to the Key Club members from Alabama, Mississippi, and West Tennessee recently. There were over 200 high school students from these states who are Key Club members, which are members of the Kiwanis Club. And when I recently gave a presentation to our local Kiwanis, an update on what's going on in the city. We only had a few students from here in our area. So I do hope more high school students from our high schools here in Natchez become more service oriented and become Key Club members. It's a great service organization, and these students actually conducted this conference. They were here with their sponsors, but they are in great leadership positions. They were governors, lieutenant governors, and other positions in the Key Club across this district, which comprises Alabama, Mississippi, and West Tennessee. That concludes my report at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you so much, Alderwoman, and congratulations on your victory last week.
Thank you.
Alderman Frazier?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. First, I would like to, I didn't have an opponent. I would like to thank my constituents for having faith in me and doing it one more term. So I just want to give a shout out to them. Next, I recently, a few minutes ago, I disagreed with the spending the money on the Natchez Police Department. And I say that, because like as I stated earlier, I know more about that building than anyone sitting on this board. And to me, most of those repairs were just cosmetic. But this is what I really want to say to the citizens and to the board. I think, this is just my personal belief, I think that we should plan for the future. What we should do, we should get with the county, the supervisors, and the city officials. We should be looking into saving the taxpayers' money by building a municipal complex, which I think would benefit the community more than anything, because like I say, if we had a centralized complex, everybody can do their business. We can have court there. We can have the jail there, and we just like I say, we can be saving money, because Natchez, like I say, we're just one municipality. Natchez, one big, and I think that we need to get with, like I say, with the sheriff and the rest of people, because from what my understanding is that Sheriff Patton, and I hadn't talked to him. Like I said, this is just something I'm just throwing out there, and I hadn't talked to anyone really. I had talked to Sheriff Patton, but I know that they are trying to build a new jail. And my personal belief is that I think that the city should be in on it, because like I say, we need a new complex. And like I said, that's just my belief, and it's just my personal feelings about the way we are spending the city money on the jail out there, the old phone company. And again, once again, Mr. Mayor, like I say, I would like to thank my constituents, and also I just want to say congratulations to everyone on the board for their election out results and what transpired. And I'm hoping that I know that we need to work together and for the citizens of Natchez. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I appreciate you, and congratulations on your victory unopposed. That's the way to run. And Alderwoman Smith, congratulations to you also. And now your report.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm in the same fashion as Alderman Frazier. I do want to thank Ward 3 for the honor of serving another 4 years. I'm very appreciative, and will, as always, work hard for you all. And on that note, too, we have a neighborhood watch meeting that I just was brought by, Charlotte Chapman brought it by to let everybody know, Tuesday, June 1st, 2024 at 6 p.m. at Parkway Baptist Church.
June 11th.
Sorry, June 11th. And if you live in Farthorn Acres, Village Green, Montebello, that whole area, please attend if you are interested in this meeting. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Oh, I'm going to give Charlotte, she put her number on the flyer at 601-334-5613. June 11th, 6 p.m., Parkway.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderwoman. Yes, Alderwoman Irving, congratulations to you.
Thank you. And I want to also thank the constituents of Ward 4. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you for your vote. I truly appreciate you being consistent with the vote and keeping me in this position. And I just say thank you. I'm truly grateful. I want to begin with inquiring about advertisement for our youth summer program that we have. I was just looking to see because recently, within the last few days, I've received calls inquiring about applications, where to go to. So I'm going to ask, are we advertising our summer youth jobs that we have? And I know normally it's been out to the public, disseminated to the high schools. How
Yeah,
is that being done?
We'll have to look into that. I don't see
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Deason here, but she handles that for us.
Okay.
Yes, Alderman Fraser, you had a question.
Let me just simply say that Ms. Diesel, I don't know why it hadn't got out of communication, but she already been out. She did that last month. Because I called it for some kids get so it's been out there. I don't know why. Alderman Urban hadn't got it, but I know it's all out last month.
Okay.
So, but again, I'm asking, how is it out there? Is it in newspapers
would,
or?
If you would ask Ms. Deason, we'll say, I know she has been getting it out there.
Okay, because I've had several people call just, and I'm,
So
wanting to
I
know.
know it's hard to get everyone's attention, but Ms. Deason, I know is open to work with anyone. Just give her a call.
Nick, so just want to bring back, I have several of the neighborhood chairpersons are interested in getting the neighborhood watch meetings up and going as soon as possible. So we look forward to moving forward with our neighborhood watch meeting as well. Also, Ms. Charlotte shared with me that anyone is welcome to come to this meeting on June the 11th at 6 p.m. I do plan to attend and encourage my chairpersons of each of the 7 neighborhood watch meetings that I have to attend as well. It's always good information being disseminated throughout the neighborhood. So, and that does end my report.
Yes. I will say I enjoyed being there Tuesday night, and we were there a long time with Alderman Maroney, and he'll probably mention that in his report. But the neighborhood watches are very good. Alderman Davis.
Oh.
Congratulations to you, Alderman Davis.
Thank you.
Congratulations all around.
I want to congratulate each and every board member, even the mayor, on their victories.
Thank you.
And back to Mr. Fraser, I'm on it's called CJCC. It's dealing with the building the new jail and stuff. I'm on this committee dealing with the police chiefs, the judges, the sheriff, all of us on this committee, and we've been in discussion about the jail, the new jail. In case you didn't know, I'm on that committee.
Yes.
And that's one of the things they was talking about too. But we got like we're going to visit on the 18th a jail in Simpson County this month, and some of the things you've been talking about that we've been discussing though.
Thank you, sir.
In case you didn't know that.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
That is really good.
That ends my report.
Thank you, Alderman Davis. Alderman Maroney.
Yes, thank you. I'm always talking about street lights. I've been doing not a survey, I've been driving around in my ward, making a list of lights. I've got about 20 that are out so far just in the downtown area. Of course, Roselawn's already got lights. I'm making a list, and then I put some red flagging that Jody Rutter gave me to mark the lights. And Roselawn's got all new lights. Theirs all look good. And I've still got to go over in the Montebello area and get all those done. I'm turning that list in. So if anybody's watching from that ward, I'm doing my best to get some street lights back up. It's amazing how many are out.
Right.
It's really amazing how many are out. I do go to those neighborhood watch meetings that Charlotte Chapman has over there at Parkway Church. Dan came last week, and they are very informative, and it's really nice. It's a great opportunity to talk with folks out in the community and see what their concerns are. So, if you've got some neighborhood watches that are coming up in your ward, or you want to come to this one on June 11th, it's kind of expanding from just that area over there. We had some folks from downtown come to the last one and had the best crowd last week of all of them that I've been to. And again, we were there for a couple of hours at least, but we had a lot of really good conversations. So if you've got a group that's putting together a neighborhood watch in your neighborhood, I encourage you to go, and I encourage you to get others, people in those neighborhoods, tell them it's a good thing to go do, get a chance to meet other people, see what they're thinking, get everybody on the same page. It's a really nice thing. I'm looking forward to going to see some baseball. Valencia, thanks for that reminder. I didn't realize that was opening up tonight. I spent a lot of time in youth baseball, did some coaching, went to a lot of games, and worked on those fields a lot myself over the years. We used to do it all ourselves, and I look forward to going out and seeing some baseball. And then I had a question. The bridge on South Canal was a big MDOT sign as you head south on Canal, just south of Grill Avenue. There's a big MDOT sign there kind of sitting on the sidewalk. That sign has gone out. It's not running now. So
It's solar powered, and we are having some issues with it.
we need to get
It
that
was
sign back
working
up,
this
and we need to move
weekend.
it off the sidewalk. We
Yeah.
need to move it back a
It's,
ways, because if you're turning off of Grill
yeah,
on the canal, you can't see. It's a real safety
we've
concern.
had Public Works looking at that.
Do we
It's
have
a
to find out who owns that piece of
difficulty.
property
It's,
there? and get
we'll
permission?
ask Mr. Dollar to look at it some more.
But yeah, that sign needs to, if nothing else, move it to where we can see when we turn it off of Grill Avenue.
Right.
But I would think we probably need to get it running as well.
Yeah,
Safety
yeah.
concern. Anyway,
Thank you.
that
We,
concludes my report.
Mr. Mayor,
And it was working this weekend, and I know we've had numerous talks about it, but we'll talk to them some more. Alderwoman
just
Hall.
like to remind Mr. Maroney that last meeting in March, we did approve the phase 2 of our LED project,
Right.
seeking RFP from Energy.
Yes.
So we-
In fact,
I would
was,
think it could probably be a while.
we should have an answer on that very
Trying to get
soon.
some
You have
back
windows
up. We've
going.
got some places that really need some light.
And
Yes.
actually, yeah, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Alderwoman, thank you. Alderman Maroney, does that conclude your
Yes,
report?
it does.
Alderwoman Irving.
I just want to ask, it's in the paper, they had small business and it was for a conference or association meeting.
Yes.
Is anyone on board aware of that? It was held at the convention center. Is it this Friday coming or is it next Friday? Do you know? It was last Friday. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay.
That was,
Thank you.
it was great. That was a private event. It's not one that we were involved in.
Mhm.
Great though to see people in the community having these events.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
private. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll now move on in our agenda to the city clerk, I'm sorry.
All right, my first request is request for approval of the 1st April 2024 claims document.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion?
Call the question.
Yes.
Yes, Alderwoman Irving?
Okay, I did have a few, on
Yes.
page. What is it? Page 12. I'm sorry, it's not 12, it's, page 9. Social media marketing, Mr. Michael Wilson.
Yes.
Is he new?
No, we've answered this question before.
Not him.
He's doing
It's a
contract
person.
work on a monthly basis, has been for some time, helping with the website, helping with Facebook. He's a gentleman, red-headed gentleman you'll see sometimes at events. And he's been on the docket for some time.
This is my
It's
first
not
time
a-
seeing it.
It's not a contract, it's just a month-to-month service. And he's been, that was one of the strategies when Mr. Dustin Hinkle left the city last year.
Okay,
And he's been working for some time.
okay.
Yeah.
My next question
Mhm.
is,
And that W cuts off, but he's assisting. No one really knows this, but we have been, our platform for our website is antiquated and about to be at a place where it will no longer be functional. So work has been going on behind the scenes to revise the website.
okay, so,
And we're almost complete with that.
okay. Well, that ends my report.
Okay.
That ends my report.
Your questions? Okay. We'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Next item is request for approval of the first April 2024 mini claims docket.
So
And-
moved.
And I'm sorry, what were you going to say, ma'am?
I was just gonna say, I did receive a phone call, actually asking about the last payment on the mini docket. And want to add that that was for landscaping, not new signs, but landscaping around the existing signs. So, just wanted to give you all that information.
And those were separate projects done over a period of a few days, and if
Right. They were 3 different
Yes.
invoices that were all paid on the same
And
check.
if anyone has had a chance to see them, it's a real change and a real improvement. And that was done through the leadership of Keep Natchez Beautiful. And we're excited about that, a much better reception to our city now.
It's coming from across the bridge.
Well, it was actually 3 different locations, coming in from 61 South, coming in from 61 North, and then coming in from
That's a
Louisiana.
really-
Okay. I
At
did
the
see
3
that.
welcome signs.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I did receive a phone call asking if we had replaced the signs, and I just wanted to offer some clarification on that item.
Okay. The motion has been made by Alderman Davis, seconded by Alderwoman Hall. Discussion?
Call the question.
The question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. Next item.
Okay, next item is request for approval of the fiscal year end 9/30/2023 municipal compliance questionnaire. And I would like to note that on page, page 4, number 5, under part 5, should be not applicable. I did have yes on that and made that correction. But other than that, everything should be in order. Mr. Mayor.
All right.
Yes.
Before we need a motion.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderwoman Smith. Alderwoman Irving, you're recognized.
I was just gonna ask, are we gonna go over these individually, on the municipal compliance questionnaire?
I mean, we have not in the
We-
past read through every question on
We
this
distributed these. They were in your packets, I
Friday.
believe.
So I did
Friday.
have,
Do you have any specific questions? Yes.
number 3, are all municipal records open to the public?
They
All
are.
those are? Okay, my reason for asking, because I've had people in the past say I have not, I've gone and called for minutes of the meeting. And so are all those filed?
They're all in the minute book,
Okay.
and we are working on with the new website, making sure that all of those are merged in and added into, and hopefully that will be up soon.
Okay, and it does, and I've shared with them that it's within 30 days after we have a meeting that you can go and get a copy of meeting, so they have to have time to get them filed and in record, so it does take that length of time for them to get that done. Okay, the other concern that I had was which one I had here? Are all fixed assets, and I guess I'm on number 17, are all fixed assets
You're
properly tagged
on
and accounted for?
17 of part 2.
Oh, we're on
Okay,
one?
yeah.
Yeah, part 2,
Okay.
So page 3.
yes.
So yes, that was something that we have gone through and working in the inventory and making sure that we have a complete and updated, accurate inventory and making sure that all assets are tagged.
Okay, and my reason for asking that, because, and I don't want to reflect on the past, but, you know, it does keep you in mind mentally, if we have all these things tagged, then we can identify for every department our assets in those departments. Okay, because, I mean, we know what has happened in the past with that. And then number 2, are all our bids the lowest and best decision? And that keeps coming to mind because that's something we have to do. I know we are doing it, but just reiterate that. Our lowest and best bid decisions properly documented. Okay, and those were my concerns.
Okay. Thank you, Alderwoman. Any other discussion or questions?
Call the question.
All right, the question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
My final item is request for approval of the March 2024 personnel report.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderman Davis. We'll have discussion.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
I would like to
Alderwoman Hall, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. For the last several months, we have noticed an increase in firefighters and police officers on this hire sheet.
Yes.
So I'd like to commend Fire Chief Arrington and Police Chief Green.
Alderwoman Irving?
And I see we are increasing our workforce in Public Works Department as well.
Yes.
So we have several personnels that have been hired. So
It
that's a good thing.
is. It's a good thing.
Oh.
We'll call for the question.
Followed.
All right, we'll proceed. We'll proceed. You have a question?
Well, it wasn't this, and my mind just went back with how are we, I know we had in the newspaper with the streets and mosquito spray, because that's
Oh,
important.
we're going to talk about that. That's in
Thank
my
you.
report.
Thank you. Uh-huh.
All right. The question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Does that conclude
That
your
does
report?
conclude my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Attorney?
I've had discussions with Mr. Brian Johnson of Stantec and also with Mr. Tom Curran, who is the attorney for Stantec. And as of April the 9th, we feel like we finalized the documentation for the professional services contract with Stantec for the Canal Street Bridge. And therefore, we want to present it to the board and the mayor for approval. It's in your packet. And Mr. Johnson and Mr. Dollar have also joined me in approving this proposed professional services agreement.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
That concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you so much. I want to say that we are very grateful that the Guinea delegation that we have hosted in the past is returning to Natchez in May. And more attention is now being given to the story of the Prince Abdul Rahman than ever before. And we are so grateful for the number of descendants who are participating in this event. And there has been a lot of press about this. And glad to see Darrell White here. Thank you, Mr. White. You are serving as a liaison for the mayor's office, working with the Guinea delegation and also the individuals behind, the scenes and working the plans out. So our plan is to host an opening luncheon for the Guinea delegation. This luncheon will take place on May 8th from 11 to 2 at NAPAC. It will include a program. The mayor and board of aldermen will be hosting it. As we've done in the past, we want approval for the city to pay for this as a state visit. We did this just a couple years ago. I don't know if we actually have the price of how much this is going to be. I believe I was told it was a $1,500 price because the delegation, including the city and the others and individuals with NAPAC and various community individuals, is quite a list. So I would like to entertain a motion for us to do this, not to exceed $1,500. And I need that as a motion. Do I have a motion?
Now I can make a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Frazier. Alderman Davis, thank you for seconding the motion. Discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Alderman Frazier.
How many guests are we looking for?
We actually are anticipating about 40, as many as 40 people by the time you include us, various descendants of other community partners, and we are going to be including other public officials and members of this delegation, which is a large delegation.
does this include light hors d'oeuvres or what? Are they-
Lunch.
Because,
It's,
40 people, $1,500,
Got
you can
it.
feed them 40 people.
That's right.
it's going to be a tight budget.
Yeah.
It is. It's going to be a tight budget.
I-
And I'm seeing here is actually Nifa Hardy's been helping us with this. And I'm asking her now. And she's,
Mr.
Mr. Mayor.
yes,
Mr. Mayor,
I think we're actually looking at 50 people by the time everything is added up.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Alderman Frazier?
I made the motion for this,
Yes.
but also I would like to, state that, we need to, before we approve anything, we need to find out, and you can come back, bring it back to the board, how much it's exactly it's gonna cost us,
Yes.
cause like I say.
Well, I've already
40
said not to exceed
40.
1,500, and I'm getting the nod from NEPA. Yes, we're going to keep it.
1,500?
And if we go over that,
Okay.
we'll have to find other donations for that. Because, and I actually, we're going to do our best. We're only talking lunch, and we're not talking, anything elaborate, but just something nice. And to give them a Natchez welcome. They're making this a very important pilgrimage every year, and it's growing, and it's bringing attention to Natchez, attention to this amazing story. It's also bringing more and more international attention.
Yes.
And I think for that reason, I have decided to participate in some travel the next week, and we'll discuss that in a moment.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Alderwoman Hall.
no offense to Mr. White, but, was Mr. Dennis not available to host it since he?
Oh,
He is executive
he's
director?
hosting it. No, he's hosting it. Mr. White is a liaison, helping them with all of the trip. But this event is being hosted by Mr. Dennis and the board members, and that includes some of the numbers, all of the board members and officers and officials with NAPAC. Mhm. That's right. All right. We'll call for the question.
Oh,
Question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Also, there is going to be a special program held in Hartford, Connecticut. There is a connection between Natchez and Hartford, being that Hartford, as I understand it, is where the prince ultimately made his way before boarding a ship to return to his native land in Africa. The saddest part of the story is that he succumbed to illness on that voyage and never actually made it back to his family.
Mhm.
But a program is being held that creates this link between the city of Natchez and the city of Hartford. And the mayor of Hartford has invited me to be there representing Natchez. And I do want to attend. In addition to that, there will be a ceremony at the U.S. State Department with state officials and with the Guinea delegation. Again, bringing attention to the legacy of the prince. It is my intention that I will leave Hartford. I will visit. I will combine it with a trip to American Cruise Lines in Connecticut. We are working on some things that, and they've been wanting me to come and see them, and I'm going to. American Cruise Lines, now that they purchased American Queen, the largest cruise company in America, but also the most prolific cruise company bringing groups here to Natchez. And also, it will be a timely time to have some lobbying visits in Washington. So it will be a busy week, but I am asking for your permission to make that travel
Second.
for those reasons. Thank you, Alderwoman Hall, and thank you, Alderwoman Irving, for your second discussion.
Yes,
Yes, Alderman Frazier.
you're going to Hartford, Connecticut,
Yes, sir.
and then you're gonna catch the American Cruise Line.
No, I'm just going to visit their office because I'll be close to their office in Connecticut, and then I will make my way to Washington.
Get this
And
straight. I thought you were
that's
going on a New
right.
England cruise.
No, not at all.
Okay.
No cruising.
Because they cruise out of New England.
They do. Oh, I wish I could.
Yeah, they go to Newfoundland.
Yeah, that would be nice, but no cruises for me on this trip. Thank you. And Alderman Frazier, that's a very good question. I'm glad. Wouldn't want anyone to think that I'm just gallivanting. This is all city business. Well,
Please
yes.
share what the trip will entail, what is going to be discussed on the trip.
Okay. It will begin on Monday, which is May 13th, with events in Hartford honoring the Prince and drawing attention to the connection we have, Natchez being his home, Hartford being his last place where then he departed for his home country. And there is, it's a very important event, not only, I think, because of the telling of this story, but also it is important in that it brings international attention to Natchez.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime we can put that positive spotlight on our city, and I'm invited to be a part of that, I want to be a part of
If
that.
it just focuses on history, not what's going on in the country.
We've made it very clear, and we've been very outspoken, and we will be on this trip as well, that we do not in any way support what is happening with human rights in Guinea. And for that reason, we have declined an invitation to be a sister city to Guinea. But what we have agreed is that we can have some cultural exchange, some educational exchange, and also it is hoped that through our continued visits that this can impress upon this delegation to be advocates for human rights in their country. And I'm glad you asked that question.
It worries me, our association.
Because,
Traveling.
and we actually will state this at both events. I've stated it very clearly in not only private meetings, but last year during a public meeting at NAPAC.
You did.
That, and I want to just state it for the record, and this is exactly what I'll say in public. It is atrocious to imagine what a horrible institution of slavery was, and what a blemish on the history of this community and on the history of this country. And the fact that we are paying honor to a man who was wrongfully brought from his country and put into this horrible institution of slavery, only to finally be freed when really he was at the end of his life. It is a sad story. And may it be that we, inspired by this story, would be those who stand for freedom in all of this world and against the atrocities that are happening right now against women and against those innocents.
Mm-hmm.
And we would hope that the light of freedom that we are now holding here in this country could also be a light of freedom to the people of Guinea. And I don't hold back in saying that. And they understand that, and they've been very, and the state officials who were with them in the last trip, very understanding. And I think I have actually found that they are ultimately in agreement. Yes, Alderman Frazier.
So you will be out of town for the first board meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I will ask the Mayor Pro Tem, to, yes, for the first board meeting in May. The question's been called. I want to say this. I believe whenever I am representing the people of Natchez, I have to understand that the story of this prince touches on a major citizenry of our city. And in fact, so many of our African-American citizens who look to this story with pride and with inspiration. And our hope is that the more that we celebrate this story, the more it will affect a better future. But I do this because I represent all of the people of Natchez. And I believe this is important. Thank you for calling the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Nay.
With one nay, the ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you. I do have some miscellaneous updates. To start with mosquito spraying, I want to thank a small task force that's been working with us and helping to educate the public. The newspaper has been very helpful also. And I would like to see that we have, listen up y'all here. I hope that y'all are getting the information that's being disseminated. The Natchez Democrat ran it this weekend. It is a schedule now that will tell everyone just what streets we are spraying every week. We have to spray for mosquitoes, but we know last year it came without warning. We were using a very potent spray that it was potent in terms of its odor. And so we've had meetings with the providers of chemical, with volunteers in the community and other experts to make sure that what we're using is not harmful to our environment, is not harmful to our good insects such as honeybees, not harmful to other mammals and birds. And so we are now, and I want to thank Nifa Hardy. She's helped us tremendously in this effort. Also, Karen Dardick, a citizen on Linton Avenue, who recently wrote a column that was in the paper Friday on integrated mosquito management. We are encouraging everyone to police around your homes. Make sure you don't have standing water. If you have old tires, get rid of them. That standing water accumulates, that it breeds mosquitoes. Mosquitoes only need a very small amount of water to breed. West Nile is a real thing. We have people in this community who are vulnerable to it. We also encourage everyone to be mindful of the schedules. Plan your outdoor activities around the schedules. If you have any questions, you can call the mayor's office or you can call our Department of Public Works. And we're going to also be broadcasting this in addition to the weekly notices to local media, also on our website and on Facebook and other social media. And also, there are very good, healthy sprays that are available. Utilize those sprays when you're outside. And I think that about sums it up. Alderwoman Hall, you had your hand
Yes,
up.
sir. I think when the company was here last year, when Ms. Dardick was here, I think it was determined by Mr. Dollar that we were actually using the very chemicals that she was recommending.
Yes.
So do not think it's harmful to the environment. I think
That's
it's harmful
right.
to bees. But we were using a safe chemical.
That's right. And we made sure that if we were using a safe chemical, then our public works goes above and beyond to make sure that we don't do anything that would be of harm to our city. Thank you. Alderman Frazier, you had it.
Man,
Yes, sir.
let me say this. I hadn't seen the list about the way they're spraying, but I have had people calling me about the spray and they're concerned about the spray. And some people was asking me, calling me, say, I'm looking at this list. They said, why 90% of this spraying look like it's done in the black community? And I had to say, I think they're gonna spray all over town.
Oh, they do.
But
They have to,
but this is
one
the kind of-
neighborhood at a time.
This is kind of call that I'm getting.
Yeah.
And people, and I had to explain, I said, no, that's not true. I said, we're gonna spray it all over town.
They have to start somewhere.
And the list
And
was
then-
emailed last week. We have it.
All right, that starts somewhere, and also just it's hard to spray the whole city, but they do their best. All of this has to be done in the evenings also, because that's when the mosquitoes are out, and you want to spray when the mosquitoes are out. Yeah. Oh, listen though, I know we'll continue to get the calls, but we're doing our best. Doing our best.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I may want to mention that it's just not in one day, it's several days, because they haven't broken down which
Yeah.
streets are going to be
It
sprayed.
is. It's spread
So
out.
Tuesday through Thursday.
That's
we'll be
right. Thank you. Spread out through the week.
Mhm.
I want to also congratulate the county. The county just last week, and I haven't seen it reported. I've been waiting to see it reported, but the county received another grant for the airport for $800,000 for hangar development for hangar space. And this was through the intermodal fund that was created by the state legislature last year. We're really grateful for this success on behalf of the county. And I do know that our lobbyists work behind the scenes very quietly. And even though, not technically asked to, they wanted to make sure that the airport was successful because this is all we benefit. I want to talk just a minute about this next 4 years. I'm excited that we can continue on. And as Alderman Frazier said a minute ago, and several have said, it is important that we work together. And in so doing, we may not always agree, but we don't have to be disagreeable. And we also have to understand that sometimes it's through our passions that we disagree, because we all are passionate about what we do. We wouldn't be here doing what we do if we didn't care. And I would say some passionate disagreement is much better than passive indifference. And I can certainly say we don't have passive indifference, and that's a good thing. We all care. But in working together, there are some things that we've got to do very soon. We've done one today, and that is to bid Morgantown Road. And we have been working together behind the scenes with the county on this. And I'm very grateful, especially to Alderman Davis and also to Supervisors Ricky Gray and Warren Gaines, who have both been very much involved. Let's hope that we have a solution coming. But we also very soon have to reach an agreement with the county with regard to our fire agreement, our interlocal agreement for fire services, also our agreement on 911. That has to be done. And also very soon, we have to have our strategy for the pool, because the pool is about to open.
Right.
And I believe we have some good ideas. And I know I've had a few good conversations with members of the boards of supervisors. I hope all of you have as well. And let's hope that we can come to a conclusion very soon on these matters and continue working together. It is amazing what can happen when people work together, but it's also sad to see what can't happen when we don't. And all we have to do is look around our country to see what isn't happening. And let it be said of us that great things are happening here in Natchez because we're working together. That concludes my report. We do have an executive session item. And so at this time, I would like to entertain a motion for us to go into a closed determination for our executive session. We will then come and make a report. It's very clear that it is a personnel matter, but we still are going to have a closed determination. When we come back and make our report, we will then very likely, should the board choose to, go into an executive session for the discussion of personnel matters. And the broadcasting of the meeting will cease at that point. We'll ask that the broadcasting continue until we come back from our closed determination.
Mr. Mayor, move into a closed determination.
Motion has been made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderman Davis. We'll have discussion. We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. We will now go to executive session for a closed determination. I will now entertain. John Mott, did you get your answer?
Say it again. As far as the
$30.44,
30, 40.
starting June 1st. Is what
Okay.
the new rate will be. And that's the 8 hour and 27 cents.
All right, we now are back. Our sheriff is here. Always good to see you, Sheriff Patton. And appreciate you so much and all you do for us. We'll now have a report, but first I need to entertain a motion to adjourn the closed determination and return to regular meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion has been made by Alderman Maroney, seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion, call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Our report, Mr. Lazarus, would you like to provide a report?
The mayor and board of aldermen met in closed session for an executive session to consider a personnel matter, which is clearly an exception to the open meetings law. No action was taken.
Thank you. With that said, we now will entertain a motion to go into executive session for the reason described.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Maroney and seconded by Alderman Davis. They're pretty fast on that end.
Get it done.
We'll entertain discussion. We'll call for the question.
Paul.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. All right, thank you.